of course, I'm always excited and happy to win football games, and it's very tough, regardless whether it's 0 points or 3 points or 21 points. I didn't think that game would turn out that way. I thought it'd be a closer game. It was 16-0 in the first half, and like I said, we ended up taking off in the second half. So I'm pleased with that. But you're right, there will be some things that I'll correct.
How big was it to keep them off the board with the wind at their back to start the game?
It's just one of those things to where on defense, what we talked about is just being a championship defense and making sure that teams don't score. We went back and we thought we had some poor fourth quarters over the last couple of weeks, and the guys just did a good job of playing it quarter by quarter. I think they did a good job, and they had great focus, and it just ended up turning out being no points.
Looks like Rob Bag is for real.
Yeah, I'm glad to see Rob back. It's one of those things to where that's why we took that chance on him, and it worked out for him, and it worked out for us.
To pitch a shutout on a day that everybody was talking about Ken Austin returning here, any extra satisfaction in that?
No, I don't get any satisfaction in that. I just think it's a whole new era. He was here. He did some good things for this team, and this team's moved on. And I think that's what it's about. It's about this year. Like I said, I think it was pretty much unfair to him. And I think some guy, and I like the way he handled himself in the media and everything, just saying it's about two football teams, and that's what it was about.
Corey, was this a more impressive performance on offense or defense?
I think it was a team. I think it was a team performance, and as long as we keep playing together, that's what I told him. As long as the defense doesn't start depending on the offense to score, and the offense doesn't start depending on the defense to shut out, I think we'll continue to win and have a good team.
Yeah, okay. Going long, the number of times you did going into the game, was that plan to be going long enough?
As far as us throwing deep, that's just the offense right now. Those guys, every now and again I think it's good for those guys that are making game time adjustments. George is doing a good job with his play calling. Kahari, Doug with the protection, and also Jason from up top letting us know what's available there. So it's just a good thing for them to see what's available, and we're taking advantage of those things.
Is 3-4-0 clearing a hurdle compared to the kept saying, you talked about that was the one you wanted to get past?
I didn't say so much a hurdle. I said we were 1-0, because that was last year's team. 4, it doesn't grant us anything. It's just another win. The biggest thing we have to make sure is that we continue each week to try to go 1-0 and just stack them up. Right now, like I said, 4-0 is a good thing. It just means every week we've had a chance to enjoy ourselves for 4 weeks in a row.
You embarrassed them, and you're playing them again in 6 days. Do you really have to preach this week to guys that's back to 0-0 and they're another opponent to make sure that they're not a little bit too high on themselves?
No, that was the first thing they said after us. The one thing I'll tell you about this team is I'm sure we'll win a lot of games and we'll lose 1 or 2 games, but the guys come to work. I will tell you that. I will vouch for them. They're a blue-collar team with a white-collar mentality. So I'm definitely pleased that anytime that we touch the practice field, we go to work.
How much did the crowd noise make it easier for you?
You know what? It was just it was good. It was good to hear those guys roar like that. It was very good, especially when they were in the huddle. And then from the huddle all the way through the snap, and then and then we made the plays. It was an electrifying crowd. And that's the way football should be.
What do you expect Hamilton to change up for next week?
Well, I'm sure they'll have some of their injured guys come back. I think they just brought a couple of receivers in off the street from training camp, and I thought those guys probably did a good job. And their receivers, and knowing that they haven't had a full time to play together, and that's pretty tough. But at the end of the day, I think they'll bring, hopefully we get another win, but I'm sure they'll change their roster.
When did you find out Dan Clark had such soft hands?
He's awesome. I mean, he broke down the team the other day, and I told him the best player on the team, break it down, and everybody laughed. But, that's just a credit to Dan. I kind of put him in the category, not so much as Rob, but every now and again you have that type of player that works so hard and has to fight through some things. And Dan Clark has fought through a lot, been on PR, junior, whatever it is. And I think that's something that he'll always cherish.
What does it do for the locker room and the bench when you see a guy like that score?
They get excited. Hopefully we don't build any more game plans around Dan. But, but it's good to see him score. We just have to make sure that as we go forward, that we continue to do right things.
Do you think the guys might have a bye week in the back of their mind going into Hamilton?
No. We've talked about it. On every team I've been on, it's always tough when it comes to the bye week because guys are ready to go home. I think the bye week is in the front of your mind when you're losing, But when, you're winning games, you get excited, and I think that's what their focus is. And I think that's why we won this week, because we had a focus to be here this week, and we didn't allow our minds to drift away.
Why was this team be able to go 4-0 and last year's team not be able to go 4-0? Yeah, maybe they were so close last year too.
Two different teams. Two different teams. A lot of parts have changed. A lot of parts have changed. Message still remains the same. And like I said, it's a more mature team.
Darian's performance, it didn't look like he was hurt at all. I know he's still hobbling a little bit, but just can you talk about his effort today?
Darren was never hurt last week. We planned this all the whole time. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. Just kidding. All right. No. You know what? That's phenomenal with Darian. And I think that's the desire that he's shown. And I'm okay with players have desire, but Darian did. He fought through it. He really fought through it throughout the week. The one thing he did tell me, he said, Coach, I'm going. This is early in the week. I said, I don't know. But I'm proud of him. I'm proud of the way he played. I'm proud of the way that he handled the situation, and I think that's maturity on his part.